Wait. So we go through Moping Superman and Psycho Batman, Team of Degenerates, 2/3 of a pretty good Wonder Woman flick, Avengers for boys who hate their dads, and Fish Bro? And the one of these that turned out to actually be enjoyable was the one that shot for mid-90s New Line caliber? Seriously? Wow, I mean, Shazam's a damn fun movie, but that is just hilarious. So there's this TV show from about 10 years ago called Chuck. Nobody in the UK seemed to watch it, its fan base is essentially me and 12 other guys, but it served as this nifty little vehicle for an actor you probably couldn't name if you tried beyond Flynn Rider. Anyway, he's a superhero now, and he's the first one to emerge from this whole DCEU endeavor that you'll actually be able to engage with for the length of an entire movie. Because let's be honest, that third act of Wonder Woman Blue, yes, the first 2/3 were fine, that third though, that's a green screen job in a car park and nobody cared. The remit here is essentially Tom Hanks' Big but with superheroes, though to be fair, even Hanks' dad was still a kid when this character was originally cooked up, back when he was called Captain Marvel. Funny story, but one you best get to googling. Short version, copyright expiration, and nobody balls like Marvel Comics. So you've got a 14-year-old kid in foster care, Billy Batson. He meets a wizard and he gains the ability to become an adult superhero instantaneously whenever he says the magic word Shazam, which incidentally is an abbreviation of Solomon, Hercules, Atlas, Zeus, Achilles, and Mercury, from whom he sort of derives all of his superhuman abilities. And he fights a bad guy. That's the movie. Is it especially complex? Nope. Game-changing for the genre? Nope. Fun? Hell yeah! The best DC movie by a margin wide enough to fit between actual continents? Well, go take a look at the shit show that was Aquaman and you tell me, but I'm betting the objective answer is oh god, yes. Believe it or not, they've actually done a pretty solid job of keeping the bulk of the movie out of the marketing for this movie. You've got more than enough to get you through the door with the trailers, obviously, but how much they've held back is actually pretty impressive. Some quite lean but decently scaled action set pieces in there, the villain's been pretty well held back, and if you have even a vague knowledge of the Golden Age, there's a beat in this flick that's gonna blow your damn mind. That it actually works in the context of this introduction to the world of Shazam too? That ain't nothing, and I love the hell out of it. Also, Alan Frank's gonna be gloating to me about a certain piece of trivia in there for the rest of his life. So, after what feels like a decade of humdrum, brooding as all hell misery fest, it turns out the missing secret ingredient here was fun. Shocking, I know. Clearly, no one could have possibly predicted this in a Burbank conference room, but that's absolutely where they aim with Shazam, and that newly added New Line insignia at the beginning, well, you can't help but think what a difference a logo makes. So Shazam effectively plays the mainstream superhero genre's answer to something like The Mask. It's fun, frivolous, but it's not afraid to go dark for a moment when it needs to, and that willingness to delve in there without wallowing, that's part of what makes this such a ride. I mean, your hero and his sidekick are foster kids in a group home, and that's not just something they use as callous setup, that's an actual core component of the characters. Characters, get this, you'll actually be bothered about. No neck snap and Martha yelling daddy's little monsters required. To be objective, Zach Levi as Shazam's a pretty sizable element in that. He's tons of fun. He's got charm oozing out of him in pretty much the exact way that made Chuck so damn watchable. And I'll take more of this character the same way I wanted more of Deadpool after that first movie. On sidekick duties, Jack Dylan Glazer's a hoot. You'll know this kid from It, maybe you saw him in the short-lived series Me, Myself and I this past year, but this kid gives great sass without sacrificing any of just how engaging he is. He's got something of a Fred Savage quality to him, big fan. And I'm always happy to see Mark Strong playing a comic book villain too. Even Green Lantern couldn't screw that up, and it works just as well here as it ever has. And Shazam also serves as a rather sort of brilliant antithesis to the doom and gloom parade of Man of Steel, literally going there, with a third act fight sequence that couldn't be more on the nose if it were built out of actual nasal hair. It's triumphant, it's punchy, it's got verve and momentum, energy coursing through its veins, and, well, you care. I know I keep saying that, but really, I have never clicked with any one of these DCEU flicks. I think they've been largely terrible, and, well, I'd rather have been in Iraq than in the cinema watching most of them. I mean, Martha! This, though, this I loved. The Swedish director David F. Sandberg, who brought us Lights Out and Annabelle Creation, delivers a very solid, very fun time at the movies. There are some great reveals, and for the love of God, don't wiki this flick, by the way. And I left the screening for this just grinning ear to ear like a goddamn child. 4 stars from me, and it earned every single one of them. Please burn down the DCEU, start again from this. This is how you make a DC movie. You make a Superman movie to this remit, you got my money. Make him a whiny little bitch crying about his mom again, decidedly less so. Either way, it turns out Shazam actually really is the magic word. Meanwhile, you've likely been hearing about the Sisters Brothers in passing for about a year now, up to and including awards season recently. Well, it's finally getting a UK release this week. The Sisters Brothers stars Joaquin Phoenix, who's in that Joker movie coming up, John C. Reilly, who's in Guardians of the Galaxy, Jake Gyllenhaal, who's your next Spider-Man villain, and Riz Ahmed, who is the villain in Venom. Just in case you thought these bonus reviews were picked without context. So it's an old west tale. Phoenix and Riley are bounty hunter brothers on the trail of Riz Ahmed. Gyllenhaal's the private investigator keeping an eye on him till they arrive. It's nothing you haven't particularly seen before. If anything, it leans on the True Grit remake so hard sometimes that you really can't avoid feeling a certain Coen-ish influence there. But it's an old school character tale with decent heft and, a willingness to actually let its characters unfold rather nicely. John C. Reilly's the standout, which is increasingly becoming the norm, and Ahmed and Gyllenhaal share some pretty lively chemistry. They reunite having been in Nightcrawler together. Phoenix is pretty good too, but his role feels pretty underwritten at times, and while all of them do feel very much in the flow of the work that, the director of A Prophet and Rust and Bone, Jack Audiard, that he's attempting to construct, he's largely quite successful. Maybe could have picked up the pace a little at times, but the time you spend with these oddball characters is in no way a waste. 3 stars, check this out. There's a pretty wasted cameo towards the end, but an even better one immediately follows, and R.I.P. Kimmy Schmidt. Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, rate, and review.